Hi everyone, it's Sarah here with Virtual Biz Partner, and I am going to show you the basics of getting set up with Asana for your project management for your online business. Now, if you're not familiar with Asana, it is free to use. They have a paid account as well, but I just suggest that you use the free. It has lots of features, and in fact, that's why I recommend Asana for project management to online business owners, is that the free account can do so much. You can have up to a total of 15 team members, so 14 including your, and then also with yourself. And then the amount of features is just incredible that I'm going to show you. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to asana.com. You can type that in the address bar, or you can just Google Asana and it'll pull this up. And all you do to get started is enter in an email address. You can enter a business or personal. It says hascompany.com right here. The only thing is if you enter your personal one, it's going to give you a message like saying, "Are you sure?" or something like that. It's totally fine. You can even see there's somebody here to support you if you have questions getting signed up. But once you sign up, regardless of which email you use, it's then going to take you to enter your information, your first and last name. You can add a profile picture. It has a couple other fields you can fill out, and then you'll go through to the next screen and it'll ask you to invite team members. If you're going to go ahead and start assigning tasks right away, I would suggest you add team members so that you can assign them tasks to them. If not, if you kind of want to look around Asana, get projects set up and get some things done, then you can just skip that step, because then you can add people once you get some projects and things set up. So it's totally fine to do it whichever way you want. And then once you get that entered and you click the next, it'll take a few minutes to load. So I'm going to log in because I've created a test account here. I have an account set up for my business, but I wanted to do some basic setup and just show you how I suggest you get this set up when you're first starting to use it. So now what you're going to see on the screen here loading, this is what it looks like when you're getting set up with a brand new account. It just takes a little bit longer. It takes a few minutes. So you can see over here on the left, this right here is my profile. If I had added a picture, it would just show my photo there. If you had invited other team members already, it would show them. Once you're ready to invite them, you just click on that invite people and you can put their name or email, and then you can also click that button and put in their email address and their name, and then click send invite. Don't check the guest. It kind of tells you why. If you do it this way, it'll just be their email and it won't have their first name in there. So I like to click on this little pencil and be able to do that. But anyways, what I suggest is getting started with these projects. Now, these projects I've set up are not really projects you're going to end up completing. These are kind of like ongoing parts of your business. So I suggest getting set up with administration. Administration, you can have things like daily tasks, team, if somebody manages like your calendar and I don't know, stuff like that. Email, you could have those things listed here. Business development, this would be anything with the growth of the business. If, conferences, networking, if you're doing any sort of training program, I myself, if I'm doing something, I kind of like to list out what I need to do for that. Conferences you may want to attend, certain networking events, or keep in touch with people. You can list those to-dos out in here so you don't forget them. And I should probably explain, like in administration, I already had a section added. So if you hover over this, you can click to add a section. Here it says new. Or if I was just to enter down and type and then do the colon, it would make it a section automatically. So I'm just going to backspace, and I can go over here and delete task. It'll take that away. So then next, get set up with business systems. This is going to be like financial systems, any processes you're creating, anything that needs to be a process or system you do on a regular basis. This one, some people may definitely need help with, but I definitely suggest having that as a project. Client care, this is going to, not everybody's going to need a client care project. Really, people are only going to need this if they have like client follow-up, if they're sending proposals, things like that. Generally, my clients add me to their Asana. Like, I don't give them access to mine. So this is really only client type tasks that you're going to do that the clients don't need to be aware of or involved in. editorial calendar, and this is where I have some tasks and different things set up. So I'll explain this here in a little bit, why I have it that way. And then marketing. Marketing will be anything like your, oh, I clearly set those up when I was, those should have gone under program delivery. Marketing would be things like social media, if you're needing to do any research, if you're needing to create a marketing strategy, if you're doing any interviews, things like that. And then program delivery was where program 1 and 2 were supposed to go, but I'm going to show you something really neat. If you set something up in the wrong place, you can drag it to the correct place. So I'm just dragging these things over here. This one was empty. If you press enter and then don't actually put text in for the task, it'll still have a blank spot. So I go delete those. All right, so I dragged those in, and let's say I want this one up here at the top. There. And then let's say I want task 1 first and then task 2. Okay. So program delivery is if you have a course where you need to send certain things out. So if you have a couple programs and you need to send thank yous, or you need to send a bonus or whatever, that stuff would go here. And then I also set up a website project, but this project is archived. I just had wanted to show you guys, like here, I'll click on this. If you click right here, you can archive. So sometimes if a project is complete, but you don't want to delete it or you don't want it to go away forever, you can archive it so you can still look back at the history. So that's what I've done on that one. You can unarchive it. And so now it's back. So these are the projects I suggest you set up, even though there are more areas of your business. And then also, I set up like my goals I'm working on for the quarter. If you're doing a launch, you'll want to have like a launch project. You can also create like a launch template. I've done that because then you can copy the project. So just know that if there's a certain type of project you do over and over that's quite large, you'll want it to be its own project and that you can copy it. Now, obviously, if you're creating like for website, this project that I have set up is for like ongoing maintenance. If you're updating copy on your site, if you need graphics, things like that. If you're having a new website built, definitely make it its own. So this is just a little run through of the projects I get set up with, only because I don't want 25 projects listed. I see clients set up a numerous amount of projects and then they have to-dos everywhere and then they're just overwhelmed. The other nice thing is that if you have a virtual assistant or if you have a business manager helping you with your business, and let's say they're trying to look at program delivery and see everything that's being worked on, they can come to one project and see everything within that. So that's kind of why I like to set these up in kind of like maybe condensed projects is what you could call it. And then I also want to show you over here, team conversations. This is just a way you could send message to everybody in your business that has access to Asana that maybe it doesn't have to do with a task. So if you want to say, hey, we're closed on 4th of July, or, for the weekend 4th of July, you could do that here. So, but that's how you, and to actually add these projects, I guess it'd help if I show you that. You just click the little plus and you'll put in your project name. I always do it as a list rather than board. A board is like a sticky note, but it's limited on what it shows. And then you're always going to want it public. And then you click create project. You can notice if you don't put the name in here, it's not going to let you click create. Now there are some templates you can use. I typically don't use these, but the Asana onboarding is a great one if you guys are trying to get your team members familiar with Asana. And if you have no clue how to use it, then it's good for them to do that. Meeting agendas, okay. I personally keep like a Google Doc for meeting agendas and I update it for my clients. I don't really need to use a project for that, but I have had past clients that like to do that because they can list things for the next week's meeting and then check them off once discussed. So that's just really your preference. So we're going to click away from that. I want you to go to the top right in your Asana account and click on your little icon. It's either going to have your photo or your initials, depending on what you've set up. And I have set up an additional section here called personal. But if you go to more and go to create new workspace, I suggest you go there and you create a workspace called personal. And then you click create workspace. You don't have to add anybody to it. can just be yourself. And then if I go into that workspace, this would just be maybe personal things. If I need to run certain errands, if I want to remember I need to go buy a pair of shoes or pay a bill, I have this set up for me with my account so that I can have personal and family stuff separate from business. So just wanted to point that out, that you can use to. Asana had something, they created a personal section. It didn't have the same features as this business one. They've done away with that. And so now if you want a personal section, you have to add one. But if you did set up Asana a long time ago and you're watching this, then you may already have a personal section. I actually deleted mine and did one of these because it has more features, more things I can do with it. So anyways, that's just if you want to. I do want to show you, to go into your profile settings, there's two things I want you to enable. I want you to go through to your display, and I've already enabled this, but when I went in here, it wasn't. Click Show Task Row Numbers. And then I want you to go to Hacks, and I want you, this will by default be off, I want you to click Extra Delight, and then you'll need to scroll down here, and you would need to click Reload. Let's see, I was going to see if, yeah, I don't want to set anything else. Anyways, just click Reload, and all it'll do is it'll reload your Asana like you did when you were logging in. So enable those two things, because then we're going to look at this editorial calendar. If you have several tasks, like let's say you're having a meeting and it's about a launch and you have 100 tasks set up, you can go to your launch project and you can say, hey, please look at line 8 where it says resend newsletter. So that display that I went in and changed, if I hadn't done this, it would not have these numbers, and it's just a little bit harder to reference. So I want you to know that that's really a really great way to do it. And then the reason I want you to have the editorial calendar project, editorial calendar, for the purposes of this tutorial and using Asana, it's going to only have tasks listed that are emails that are going to be sent to your list. So that's why I have blogs, newsletters, that sort of thing. Because what's nice is to see these on a calendar view. So what you can do is, because I've set these up, and I'll show you how I set these up here in a minute, but because I've set these up, if I go to my calendar view, I can actually see there's things listed here by date. And then, so this only shows through June 17th. So let's go, it's not going to let me, let's go to July. And then now you can see here are things in July. So what's nice about this is if you're having a meeting and you're trying to decide when you can send more emails, you could say, well, we have an email going, this week and the following week. So how about we wait till the next week of the 13th to send it, or, whatever. So that's why I had set up several tasks here, because maybe you have a joint venture you're invited to be a part of or something else. And you're just trying to figure out, well, how many emails are we sending and when? So you can, now you can look at the calendar view in any of these projects. Just the editorial calendar is the one I find it beneficial. And you'll notice though, if you click on one of these tasks, you can do subtasks. So this is where I was actually setting these up. So let me just show you. I'm going to press enter. And to set up a new task, you'll just type, I'm going to put send email to list for, I can't talk and type, for blog 5. And then I'm the only one in here, so I can only assign it to myself. And then we're going to add a due date. So let's add a due date, same to one of these others. So let's see, we've got a July 6th. So we'll add this on July 6th. And then you could add subtasks, which is what I was doing in some of these earlier ones. Subtasks will not show on your calendar. So if you're wanting to look at dates, so this might be like I had write draft, proof draft, find pictures, format on site. And then if you click this little arrow, it takes you into this regular section to add more. You can assign it, put the date, the same thing as we just did with these regular tasks, except this is just a subtask. And then the thing though is if you're looking at write draft, you can be like, wait, which email is this for? Oh, it says right here. It was for send email to list for blog 1. And you can see it's in the editorial calendar project. So it makes it really nice to be able to see that. To go back, you're just going to click that task. And then you can apply tags. Sometimes I'll use these and just use like low, medium, and high priority, but that's probably a little advanced for you guys right now. You can add attachments. So if you have a document an image, especially the fine pictures. You could attach the image to this task. This gives you additional things you can do. This right here, mark as waiting on, that's only if you have a paid account, so you can't really use that. One thing I like to do is use the heart feature to acknowledge people have seen comments and things. So if you had a couple other team members involved in this and you wrote a comment down here, you may just say, hey, please use the heart feature so that I know you've seen my comments. That just makes it nice. So if we go back to the calendar view and we go back to July, because that was, you can see, oh, we have 2 emails going out this day. We don't want that to happen. So if you click that second one, it'll open it up and you can actually change the date from right there. And then it'll show, you know, if you did it in July, it'll show that date. So I just wanted to give you an example of how you can set things up to actually view them on the calendar. The rest of this, don't even worry about right now. If you can just go in here and get your project set up, get your team members added, you know, get your tasks and things entered. The other thing that would be useful is that if you're setting up a task and let's say it needs to be done every week, you have the option to set it to repeat, and you can click and change the intervals. And then you can also add, I'm gonna go back. You can add a due time. So you can actually say this is due at 5 p.m. So that's super nice. I do that for quite a few things. And these are really easy to delete. If you're like, oh my gosh, I just want to delete everything, click up here, click delete task, and then it's going to ask you, and I'm going to say delete permanently. It gives you a couple messages. So that's really the overview. I wouldn't worry about this dashboard inbox be the most recent comments. The only thing I suggest is that once you get your account set up and you have things assigned daily when you're coming in to see what you need to do, click on My Tasks, and then I like to use this view, Tasks by Due Date, so then I can see, oh, you know, these are the first 2 things to do or whatever, or these are the 3 things I have for today. So you can see what is coming up soonest so that you're working on the most important things. Now you can click up here. I just want to caution you, if you add tasks this way, it does not put them into a project. And I believe by default, it makes them private unless you add followers. I would suggest don't add tasks this way. Go over here to your projects and add them this way. So that's just a basic overview of getting your Asana project management system set up. If you have any questions, you can check me out at virtualbizpartner.com or shoot me an email at Sarah, S-A-R-A, @virtualbizpartner.com. Thanks. Bye-bye.